Welcome to my Masterclass webinar, A Start to Finish Guide for Losing Weight Without Exercise. Yes, it is true. I want to make sure that this is working. So if you're here and if you can hear me and see me, make sure that you let me know in the chat, pretty please. Hey, Terry, it's good to see you. Hi, Naomi. Oh, thank you. Thank you both for letting me know that you can see and hear me. That's great. Michael, thank you for letting me know. I'm going to try to make sure that you can see me in the little corner there. For some reason, I don't know why, the video is not showing. Okay, let me get the video going. While that happens, there we go. Okay, now if you can see me in the little bottom corner live, then if you could just please let me know. Awesome. Naomi, thank you for letting me know. Okay, great, Michael. Thanks so much. I am so excited about this particular webinar because I have never before done a webinar or any sort of presentation whatsoever that lays out everything that I do to help people lose weight without exercise. I'm giddy. I'm so excited. So let's just jump straight into it. And yeah, here we go. All right, so welcome. This is me. My name is Jessie Xylia, and I created a program called the Health Boss Blueprint. So this is basically a sneak peek into what I do from start to finish to help people lose weight without exercise. And my goal is so that they become comfortable in your clothes, so you can gain confidence out of your clothes, because who doesn't like a little sexy time, right? And so that you can have energy to level up in whatever it is that you're doing with your life or your business. So yeah, I want to help desk job professionals go from fluffy to fit. That's what I like to call it. I know that desk job professionals are really busy, and there's a lot of judgment out there saying, well, if you really want to lose weight, you'll make time for exercise. But if you're a really busy professional, that doesn't necessarily stick. That's not going to resonate. And a lot of times people truly do not have the time, but they still need a solution. So let's get into it. I'm gonna jump right into it and go with a couple of my key overarching strategic points, and I'm gonna dive into them in a little bit more detail. So, okay, let me go ahead and make sure that everything's set to go. All right, first thing is knowing where to start. You need to have your food personality assessed so that you can be on an eating path that works with your personality, not against it. I can't tell you how important this part is. It's foundational. Nothing else is going to work if you don't have a diet plan or an eating plan, however you want to call it, that works with your personality. And it's the working with your personality that matters for a long-term sustainable result for you. Because if you've ever been on a diet before, and let's say you've kind of gone off the rails a little bit, chances are the reason why you went off the rails is because it's actually not meshing with what you really want to do and your own personality. So we get that assessed right away. The second thing is to know what to do with unexpected issues. So introverts and extroverts can benefit from weekly coaching calls. These are group coaching calls where everybody can sort of put in their questions. And for the introverts who may be watching this on the replay, this is for you too, because if you don't want to be called out and talk live or be on a Zoom or whatever, I completely understand that, regardless of the fact that I'm in front of you all and doing a webinar. Truly, inside, I tend to be quite introverted. So you can benefit from still submitting your questions, getting them answered, and you can listen to the extroverts, frankly, who are asking their questions live. We can all learn from each other, and that it just benefits the group so much. So I do that through a private Facebook group. And then it's really important to know what to do with plateaus, because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to dispel something. A lot of people think that if you hit a plateau, that means that it's not working. That's not true. Plateaus are part and parcel of the weight loss process. A lot of people believe that weight loss is linear, like you're going to succeed, you're going to lose the weight that you want to lose. But it kind of, I don't know if you can see me, but it's a rocky road. It kind of goes up and down as you're trending downward to the weight that is your ideal weight. And plateaus are part of it. So you need to know what to do when you hit a plateau and how to strategically handle that without giving up, how to push through. And then, so I call that a false plateau, because if you can push through it, then it was false. But if it lasts long enough, then it's a real plateau, and there are still things that you can do to push beyond that so that you can advance your weight loss goals. You need to know when there's an event. You need to know what to do when you're wanting a treat that maybe falls out of your regular diet plan. Like, these things need to be part of the package for you. It's not like, I mean, I know that right now we're dealing with COVID-19, and we're probably going to be dealing with that for a long time, but it doesn't mean there aren't events. It doesn't mean that people aren't getting tested before they go to a birthday party, or that you don't have your own birthday coming up or an anniversary coming up. So, you need to know what to do when there's a planned event and when there's not an unplanned treat. Like, there are ways to integrate these things into your life. And then number 3 is knowing how to kick it up a notch. Crank up your results with advanced tactics. And it's really important that these things go in order, because when you try to go with the advanced tactics first, a lot of times it might work in the short term, but it can really backfire for you. So let's go ahead and continue. But those are basically the top 3 things that I do for people, but I'm going to explain a little bit more how this happens. All right, so this webinar masterclass, it is value packed, I promise you. So you're going to want to turn off all distractions. If you're at work, I know some people messaged me and said that they were at work, that they would be listening on their headphones, that they'll watch the slides later. It's fine. The slides are really informative. So and you'll get them if you registered. You should get all of the slides in the full recording so you can see visually exactly what it is that I do. And if you're just listening, that's fine. I hope to still make this very valuable for you. But if you're able to turn off any other distractions, you're going to want to do that. Let's see. Hold on one second. Technical difficulty. There we go. All right. So most people are inadvertently putting themselves in an uphill battle. I used to be stuck wondering whether the next diet I tried was going to last. Inadvertently choosing a diet that won't work with your personality is where most people get stuck. So I kind of chose this little graphic here of a mountain biker, kind of, if you can tell, they're walking their bike uphill. They're not riding it. It's a little bit cheeky because my husband, he mountain bikes, and I hate it. I hate mountain biking so much. This is not a judgment against anybody, and why do I hate it? It's the uphill. Oh my God, I hate the uphill so much because it's precarious, and you're going over rocks, and it sucks, and I hate it. But it's not that I like, it's not that I don't like bicycling or riding. This is how I prefer to do it, having a nice, long, flat, stable, even paved road in front of me. So people who get long-term results, this is what their road really should look like. If you look in that image, you'll see that in the horizon, there may be a few little teeny tiny hills, but if I were on a bike, I would look at this and think, man, this is manageable. I can do this, and this actually looks like a fun, nice path to go on. So only people who find a diet that both is proven to work scientifically and matches up with your personality can achieve real, long-lasting results without exercise. You do not have to exercise to meet your results, I promise you. All right. So stick around, settle in if these things apply to you. You have a desk job or a sedentary job. You want to lose some excess weight. You do not have time or energy for consistent exercise or any exercise at all. You are self-assured, but know that having the excess weight gone would make you more comfortable in your clothes, confident out of them, and energized to level up. You are results-driven and ready. You know you can lose weight without exercise. You're just not sure how. And you want you want to start working with your personality instead of against it to lose weight. And you know that science helps, but you want a clear path to put those two things together, your personality and the science. They have to go together. And if you want to know how, then stick around. Feel free to leave the masterclass if any of these things apply to you, because this will not be helpful for you then. If you love the idea of getting super skinny above the idea of being healthy, this is not a plan to make you rail thin like a runway model. And I'm not judging runway models at all, but there is some danger with being super, super skinny. If you are an information junkie, but you do not take action, if you're not serious about taking the steps to lose the weight that you want to lose, if you don't care about what science has unveiled about food and the body, because you have to care about the actual evidence because the evidence really matters. Trends don't matter. The stable, consistent evidence over a period of time, not even one research article matters. It is the body of the research that matters. And if you aren't open-minded to learning new things, especially if they challenge your current beliefs, I always tell my clients, do not kill the messenger. You know, they might believe certain things about a particular diet, even things that they've tried in the past that have worked, even if temporarily. And if I challenge those things and I have the science to back up my stance, it can upset some people. So if you aren't open-minded to learning new things, then this webinar will not be helpful for you. If you think that you've learned everything you need to know about losing weight without exercise in a sustainable way, then this webinar won't help. And if you're going to get mad when I give you 45 minutes of strategy that allows me and has allowed me to help others just like you reach their weight loss goals without exercise, and then complain when I make you an offer for an exclusive opportunity to work with me, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I will give you the goods, and then I will offer you an opportunity to work with me, and actually offering it like a huge discount. So stick with me if you are interested in that. All right. Also, I'll be doing Q&A at the end, so I will be checking the chat at the end. If you have any questions, go ahead. There's a little question button below this webinar. You can enter your question there, or I'll try to look at the chats too and see if you have a question there. So before we dive into tactics, here's a little history on what qualifies me to deliver this information to help you lose weight without exercise, because anyone who's talking to you about this topic should be qualified. I'm going to let you in on my fluffy to fit journey. I get people who are thinking about working with me ask me all the time, well, have you ever been overweight? You know, believing that I couldn't, I guess, add any value or benefit to them if I've never been overweight, but I actually have been overweight. And some of you know this about me already, but a lot of you don't. So I'm going to go ahead and share it. That way you know where I'm coming from. Remember that picture at the beginning that was me? This is also me. This photo that you're seeing right here, this is me 4 years ago. I started my career as a lawyer. I turned down being accepted into a PhD program in sociology that was fully funded. I turned to law because I already enjoyed researching. I wanted to help people, but I quickly realized that it was taking a toll on my body, which then started to rob me of fitting comfortably in my clothes, of feeling confident in swimwear or naked. I'm just going to be honest with you, and of having the energy that I needed to keep up and advance in my career. I kept trying to convince myself that this was just a part of getting older, and that the sooner I'd accept it, I'd be happier. That I really tried to convince myself of that until I went on vacation with my husband after 2 years of being a partner at a law firm. The job was so stressful, and the only way to get a break was to get far away. I thought I ended up being Hawaii. So this little picture of Hawaii. I thought that I looked decent in my bikini. When I looked in the mirror, I was, you know, at the hotel. I remember this distinctly, putting on a bikini, thinking I look pretty good. But the photographs, they told a different story. The photographs that my husband took, and he's a photographer, and that the tour guides took, told a completely different story. This stock photo of Hawaii is here because I could not bear to keep even a single photo. It was like I was looking at someone else, which was really depressing. And, you know, enough was enough. I went on this vacation to de-stress, and instead I ended up being rather depressed. I needed a weight loss solution that didn't involve working out because I did not have time. I was a partner at a law firm. I had accounts. I had clients, I had cases, I had employees. There was no HR. I was basically running all of that myself. I was running the largest office in our firm. It was exhausting. I was getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. Where was I supposed to carve out the extra time to work out? It wasn't happening. So I needed a solution that it did not involve exercise. I went back to my researching roots and dove into the science, and I lost 30 pounds without working out. All right, this is the comparison from the summer of 2016 to the summer of 2017. As you can see, after a year of diving into the research, I was still far away from my goal. This is after about 200 hours of research. So it took a lot of research for me to get nowhere. I had to keep pushing and keep doing more. I did not give up after a year of research. This is actually a little screenshot of my first ever YouTube video, which I filmed in my car. I was so sick and tired of trying to find a channel or an expert who spoke to my needs. A middle-aged desk jockey, let's be honest, who couldn't take the time to work out. And I know that a lot of us don't want to consider ourselves middle-aged. I get it. I don't want to consider myself middle-aged, but that was the truth. And having a bunch of 20-year-olds speak to me was not helpful. The YouTubers out there in the weight loss space seem to either be in their 20s, and I'm not faulting them for that, or they were living life in a gym. I knew there had to be a better way, so I set out to find it. And since I couldn't find a channel that spoke to my needs, I started that channel myself, which is now called Health Boss. And this is me only 2 months and 1 week later. I mean, there's a big difference. Look at the before and after. That's August 2017 versus October 2017. You can just see it in my face. There's such a huge difference. And I really think it had to do with accountability, being on YouTube, being in front of people. It pushed me to dig even more into the research and to figure this stuff out. I had to do it. And you could see there, I was starting to really, really crack the code. I lost the weight and I kept it off. And this is a before and after, basically, again, the summer 2016 photo and the summer 2018. So this is after 2 years of me diving into the research. Essentially, I started losing that weight and, dramatically after 7 weeks, so 2 months and 1 week. And is that 7? That's 9. Okay. Don't fault me for that. And I was, as you can see, this is summer 2018, so I was able to keep that weight off. And I want to tell you something that's a little off script for the summer 2016 before photo. That's me at my best angle. As I mentioned, my husband's a photographer, and so he has taught me about angles in photos, and that was the best that I had to offer it. Now, this may look very different from what you consider to be uncomfortable for your life, but it is really important that we don't judge ourselves or other people about what makes them feel comfortable versus what makes them feel uncomfortable. And the fact is, if you're uncomfortable, it doesn't matter what that looks like. What matters is how you feel inside. And we want to fix that. We want you to be comfortable. We want you to be confident. And we want you to go from fluffy to fit without exercise. That after photo, there was no exercise. I was still a partner of a law firm. So no exercise whatsoever. I was able to do it and keep it off. And then this is me now. And I say that because I still kept off the weight, but I actually thought that my before photo, so let me just go back to it. My summer 2018 photo, I actually thought I was getting a little too skinny. So I put on a little bit of weight on purpose so that this is my version of confident. This is me confident. And I know that I can get you there too. I've gotten other people there without any exercise. So just after this photo was taken, I left my law firm and decided that I'd start helping people in a different way to lose weight without exercise. I finally felt comfortable in my clothes, sexy out of them, and energized to level up in my life, do what I needed to do. My clients were people who felt stuck just like I had felt, and they were in the same circumstance, the exact same circumstance, because I deal with desk jockeys. Right away, I started getting clients from YouTube. My first client being a lawyer in her 40s. In 6 weeks, she was able to lose the 10 pounds that she hadn't been able to shed. And I know 10 pounds does not sound like a lot, but when you are super, super overweight, it's really easy to lose that first handful of pounds. It's when you get to the last few pounds that sometimes you can just feel completely stuck. But we were able to unstick her, and we were able to get her to lose that 10 pounds in 6 weeks, and she was able to keep it off. She committed 100%. And so the question is, are you ready to commit? Because if you are, then you can have the same results. Remember, I started knowing next to nothing about how to effectively and sustainably lose weight without exercise. I was not an expert in that. I was an expert in other things, but not weight loss when I first started. That photo of me in my car starting my YouTube channel, I was not an expert at that time. I wasn't a registered dietitian. I was just a lawyer who happened to have a background in research. And this is why I'm so freaking passionate about sharing the tactics that got me from fluffy to fit without exercise. It has changed my life. It has changed my clients' lives, and it can change your life. And I even compete in fitness competitions now. So I will say that once I lost all the fluff, then like gaining some muscle, okay, so that I had actually, work to get that muscle, but losing the weight to begin with, that all happened without any exercise whatsoever. And this was me at 40 years old. So if you are middle-aged, getting close to it, and if you think, oh, I guess this is part of getting older, this I felt better and more confident, and I was stage ready at 40. Those first two photos were right after my 40th birthday. And then that last photo was of me of late last year. I haven't stepped on stage this year because of COVID-19. I know people who are doing it, but I don't feel comfortable. So anyway, those are my competition photos. I never would have been able to do anything like this if I had not been able to lose the weight to begin with. There's no way it would have happened. So I like to compare all three. On the left, that's me uncomfortably overweight. That's what it meant to me. And it might look differently on you, and that's okay. When I was stage lean, I was uncomfortably skinny. I don't actually like getting stage lean. I do it because I do the competitions, but as soon as I can, I try to get unskinny, not that skinny. And then I try to maintain what's on the right. And that's what I basically maintain year round. And it's a little thicker, but that's how I like it. That's how I feel comfortable and confident, sexy, and energized. So it wasn't just about me, though. Being a weight loss coach, it allowed me to help others. And here's a testimonial. I wanted to take the time to write a proper thank you for the sessions over these past couple of months. Your positive energy and drive has been enormously inspiring to me and oftentimes infectious. And you really gave me the oomph, I like that word, oomph, that I needed with such warmth, encouragement, and good humor. I am now confident that I can keep the weight off. Are you ready to do the same? By having this blueprint at your fingertips, imagine where you could be in 6 months. I mean, I got my results in 2 months and 1 week because that was where I was at. My before was in that way where I didn't have a whole ton of weight to lose, but I did it in just a couple of months. Consider this training, this masterclass, consider this your fast pass. Let's get into the training. So this is a sort of a blanket screenshot where I had to essentially take all the components of my course and what it is I do, and I had to visually make it comprehensible for you all today. So essentially on the left we have modules, and those are the things that I have people go through from beginning to end. And then on the right I have process, and these are things that you can access throughout the course while you're doing the modules. You can take it or you can leave it. It's totally up to you. So level 1 of the modules is foundation. This is where we go over, of course, an orientation. Every course has to have an orientation. And I want people to then become aware. You really can't know where to go until you come to terms with where you're at. So I have people really take an assessment of where they currently are. Then I go over umbrella issues, like, for example, no matter what diet you follow and no matter what research you look into, pretty much every scientific article says that processed foods are not great for human health. It doesn't mean you can't have processed foods. I have processed foods, but these are just some umbrella overarching issues that you should at least know about before we put you on your track. Then the very last part of the foundational level is I have people do a food personality assessment. So important. Understanding where you're at. Let's talk about this, because busy professionals, you are under pressure. You have lots of meetings, even in the era of COVID-19. I know y'all are having lots of meetings. I know it because I talk to y'all. I know it. You hate counting calories. I mean, generally speaking, this is true. You are not going to weigh your food. If you hate counting calories, you're not going to weigh your food. That makes sense. You don't have time for consistent exercise, if at all. And many busy professionals have kids, and kids, anybody with kids will tell you that that takes a whole lot of extra time. And it all boils down to the fact that you don't have time. You don't have time, and it's okay. You still need a solution, and I'm not here to judge. And again, this is off script, but every time I mention this, like, in some sort of Facebook thread or whatever, I have some jerk who always comments, every single time comments, well, if you really wanted to lose the weight, you would make time for exercise. It is such an unhelpful thing to say. It is so judgmental. And this entire process, my entire course, my entire group, this is a judgment-free zone. You're not going to be judged for that. You're going to be given the keys to the castle, and you're going to have a solution, because you still need one. And being told you'd make time to work out if you really wanted it isn't totally unhelpful and untrue. Research. So now, remember my first year, I'd done about 200 hours of research. Well, since 2016, I have done about 1,000 hours at least of secondary research into the peer-reviewed scientific literature. You don't have to know how to do that. I do, and that's what I've done. It's been a lot, but I actually enjoy the research, so it's okay for me. I got a certificate from Cornell in 2017 in plant-based nutrition, and I've actually never had a plant-based client before, but learning what I did in that program was very important. I learned about all kinds of things, not just about nutrition, but about, cancer and, chemicals and politics. And as a lawyer, I really liked the politics part. All right. I started coaching in 2018 as soon as I left my law firm. And I learned something really novel while I was coaching, and that is patterns. As a lawyer, one thing that's maybe unique about a lawyer becoming a weight loss coach is that we are trained to recognize patterns. If you can't recognize patterns as a lawyer, you are going to lose all of your cases. And so I have been trained to recognize patterns. And that worked for me. Also, I wasn't expecting it to help me at all in weight loss coaching, but it did. I recognized there were patterns of desk job professionals. They had certain food personality traits, they had certain preferences, they had certain lifestyles. And I discovered throughout the process that food personalities exist. Now, my early coaching clients, I hadn't yet made this discovery, so I kind of feel a little bit badly for them because they didn't benefit from me having this understanding. But over the course of the last couple of years, I have noticed this, and this is just the key. It's so important because science and personality have to go together. There are many scientifically proven ways to lose excess weight. If you are following a guru, and if that person tells you that there's one way to lose weight, run in the other direction. Just hightail it out of there, because it means they don't understand the science. Because there are really about 4 tried, true, tracked, sustainable, proven over and over again ways to lose excess weight without exercise. Science is important, obviously, but it's not everything, because a workable plan must also fit your personality. Obviously, can't stress this enough. Why is personality a big deal? Because you can either work with your personality or you can work against it. And for long-term success, you want to work with your personality. Finding a scientific way that works with your personality together is my forte. I've gotten quite good at it, and it's exciting. So that is exactly why the last thing we have you do at the foundational level of level 1 is take a food personality assessment. It sets the tone for the entire rest of your program. And basically, the program becomes completely customizable to your food personality needs. All right. Here are some traits. These are just a few. I didn't want to like completely make the screen full of words, but food personality traits, whether you're aware of them or not, that's what leads to your food personality. And that's what should set the path of where you are eating and how you are eating. So some traits are, are you a food cheater? Now, a lot of people don't like the word cheater or cheating. They say it's triggering, and I'm not meaning to trigger anybody. But what I mean by cheater foods is probably what most of us would consider cheater foods, like, donuts and brownies and cupcakes and pizzas and French fries and things like that. Are you an anti-counter, meaning you just absolutely hate counting, you will not do it, like, no, don't make me do this, versus a calculator, somebody who likes to measure every aspect of their life and eating path? I mean, good for you if you're like that. I'm not like that. I'm an anti-counter for sure. Are you a FOMO-tarian? Do you have a fear of missing out when it comes to food? There are ways to measure these things and whether you have these issues. And at the end of the food personality assessment, it's going to shove you into that second circle, and you're going to fit into one of these 4 categories. Either you're a carby connoisseur. I gave these kind of like cute little names, but this is really true. A savory savant, a mixed medley, or a number crunching nosher. And I'll get into what this means in just a second, but here's the key. Here's what I really want you to understand. You want to lean in to your personality. You don't want to fight against it. You don't want to fit a square peg of your personality into the round hole of whatever the trendy diet is or whatever you think that science says. So this whole program and why it is successful is because I have people lean in to their food personality, but you can't lean in if you don't know. So what a carby connoisseur means is that basically you like carbs, you're a high carb kind of a person, and that is okay. People think that if you love carbs, that's like the death knell. That is absolutely not true. There's a way to do this that will work for you. A savory savant is a low carb person. You don't like to have carbs in your life, and that's generally speaking, and maybe there are some exceptions. Oh, I'm trying to get through all the information really quickly, so I keep tripping over my own tongue. I have so much information in this webinar masterclass. I just want to cram it all in. So just please forgive me and love me anyway. All right, so low carb person, they may have their treat foods, whatever they consider that, every once in a blue moon, but generally speaking, they tend to be low carb. Then a mixed medley. That means that you need to have variety and some flexibility in your eating path. If you don't, it's not going to work for you. It will work short term, whatever it is you're trying, but eventually, if there's not enough flexibility for a mixed medley person, what's going to happen is you're going to abandon that. You're going to have a day or a meal, and it's going to, I hope I don't offend anybody, but it's going to be your F it moment. Because once you made that decision to go off the rails, you're going to think, F it, screw this, I'm out of here, I'm not doing this, I'm done. And you abandon whatever it was that you were trying to do because clearly what you were trying to do did not have enough variety for you and did not have enough flexibility for you. Or if you're a number crushing nosher, this means that you are a tracking kind of person, you love numbers, and that is the most important thing to you. Nothing else matters. You just count calories. I try to, honestly, I don't really think that the people who count calories, it's so laid out for you. All you have to do is like count and assess some things. You don't really even have to do anything special, but most people are not that way. Most people fit into one of the top 3 categories. All right, so once you take that assessment, we put you on an eating path. This is what I call the what. This is where each person gets put into their own eating path. So if you are a high carber, a carby connoisseur, you are not going to be put on the same path as a savory savant. You two will be placed on completely different paths. And same with the mixed medley, same with the tracker. Like, you guys are all going to be put on different paths, because these paths are going to be, they're going to be rooted in science. So been proven over and over to work, and they're going to also match your personality. Again, these two things, they have to go together. So we put you on the what. And those are the four things, as I just mentioned, that you're going to be. Yeah, once we know where you're at, we tell you what like to eat, where your pitfalls are, what it means to fit into one of those categories, your stumbling blocks, and most importantly, how you can avoid them. Because people in the different categories, they're not going to have the same stumbling blocks. And you're not going to have the same method to overcome those stumbling blocks. You need to know, and it has to fit your way. When I say you do you, this is how you do you. You have to know your personality before you jump in. All right. Then we have some boosting options, and these are just options, okay? I put this up here, and some people like freak out. Like, don't tell me I can't have my wine. I'm not telling you that. These are just little boosting options that you can take if you feel like you need a little boost. You know, you can try no alcohol for a week. You can try no dairy for a week. I've seen people really succeed so much if they just try either going non-dairy or having dairy in a different way than what they're currently having it as. There are ways to think about that. What to do with non-alcoholic drinks. I had somebody I was coaching earlier this week, and she was talking about how she put a syrup into her water. We needed to address that. Talking about sugar and fructose, also sucralose is a sweetener. Those are some really important things to understand the science, because you need to know when you eat these things, what's happening in your body. And you can still eat those things, but eating them with knowledge is power. Eating them without knowing what you're doing with the chemical reactions in your body, that is eating in a powerless way, and it's not good. And also, if you're interested in other eating paths, you know, we address that. So if you're a carby connoisseur and you're, you know, curious about being a mixed medley, you know, we'll go over that. All right, then level 4 is, these are the advanced options. This addresses the when, and these terms might sound familiar to you. So we talk about intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is not what it sounds like. It is something that is very specific, and it basically allows you to tune into yourself. We talk about delayed gratification. There's some great research about delayed gratification and the benefits that it can have, not only for weight loss, but just in every aspect of your life. We talk about 5-2 intermittent fasting. We talk about other modes of intermittent fasting, and we talk about OMAD. Don't freak out when I say what this is. You do not have to do any of these things. These are just advanced options. This is 1 meal a day. When I first heard of 1 meal a day, I thought, this is ridiculous. But the research does, as I mentioned earlier in this masterclass, I'm going to say things that might be a little bit off-putting to what you believe to be true, but if the science is there, I'm going to mention it, and don't shoot the messenger. So these are advanced options, because you should not be jumping into intermittent fasting if you do not have the eating path and the foundation set for you. This is really dangerous, and that's where my ebook comes in. I have a free ebook that I wrote up, and it explains why you don't want to jump into that. And it's going to be available for anyone who's watching this if you want it. I'm going to have my email address at the end, and all you have to do is just email me and tell me that you want that ebook. I will send it to you. So, okay, but these are advanced options for you. And honestly, a lot of people don't need these. A lot of people, they lose the weight before they get to this stage. So if that's, you know, you, then wonderful. You don't even need any of this stuff. But if you need a little bit extra, then these are available to you, and you will learn a lot. Then we talk about the process. Here are things that you could encounter at any point along your journey. The journey is basically the modules, and then the process is like anything that could happen along your journey. So plateaus, I talked about plateaus earlier. They're part of the process. You need to know how to deal with them, how to push through them, how to overcome them, and we go through all of that. You learn that. Then I call Mayday. If you are watching this on a screen, then I have in parentheses the original version of Mayday. Mayday, you know, means help, and it comes from the French, m'aider, which means help me or to help me. So that was kind of a fun little fact that I just recently learned. And basically, when you need help, when you have, really hit a wall and you need help, we have not only the Facebook group available to people, but we also have group coaching that I mentioned. Those two things are going to be able to help you when you most need the support. You are not going to be left to fend for yourself. Then knowing what to do with events and planned treats. So like I said, if you have a birthday coming up, an anniversary, if you have anything that's coming up where there's going to be cake, you're going to want that cake. Well, you can have that cake. We're going to teach you how to put that into the system so that it's not that you're abandoning the system if you go and eat the cake. No, that's part of the program, is to teach you and show you how to do this and that you can still make progress. Then I have something, again, I know cursing really offends some people. It does not offend me. And so there is this part of the process that I call, oh shit, I cheated, now what? I'm putting cheated in parentheses, not parentheses, in quotes, because I really do like to take the stigma and the shame away from that idea of cheating. I don't like it, but it is what people tend to talk about when they are referring to themselves and what they may have done or what they might have eaten. So you need to know what to do if you had some sort of treat food or food that's a little bit off plan and that was not scheduled, like a planned treat. What do? You can absolutely do this. All right, as I mentioned, you have weekly coaching and bonus modules. This I think is pretty cool. So once you hit your weight loss goal, then unlock and let you have some bonus modules that deal with longevity and quick weight loss. You might be asking yourself, well, why don't you give people the longevity and the weight loss videos, or whatever you would call it, classes? Why don't you give them that at the beginning? And that's because when people try to jump into these things without having a solid grounding, a really healthy relationship with you, your body, and food, then knowing this first can really accidentally sabotage you, because what happens is you try to do all the things at once and you crash and burn. You don't want that. I want this to work with you. And if you follow these steps and do it in this way, it will work for you and you will achieve your goals. But then once you achieve your weight loss goals, you can learn about these additional fun things. All right. But I'm going back. Personality obviously comes first. You see how none of the other steps really matter if you're not put on the right path to begin with. The scientific weight loss method that matches your personality is applied throughout your entire course, the whole course. Super important. The Health Boss Blueprint program is the only weight loss course that is scientifically customized to your food personality. The Health Boss Blueprint, it is personality driven, scientifically backed, so important. Weight loss without exercise for desk jockeys. Some people don't like that term either, desk jockeys. If you're a desk job professional, then I lovingly refer to this as a desk jockey. And it's okay. It's okay to admit you're a desk jockey. We want to improve your comfort in your clothes, your confidence out of them, and your energy so that you can level up. A personality-based program is key. No more banging your head against the wall. No more having to say goodbye to your favorite foods forever. No more feeling like you're a failure just for having a little fun. Instead, you're set up for success from the very beginning. You're working with yourself rather than against yourself, and you can enjoy flexibility while getting solid information and transforming your body. The best thing about weight loss without exercise is that you save time while achieving your goals. Here's, I did bring 2 more testimonials up just so that you know that I have some solid proof for what I'm saying. Thank you. My weight is definitely decreasing. I appreciate the tips you've provided. Slow and steady has worked for me. In a few days, I lost 2 pounds and I've already lost another 2 in less than a week with just some simple adjustments. Now, it's so funny that she said that slow and steady has worked for her, but she lost 4 pounds in the first week, really with just a couple of minor tweaks. Here's another one. Thank you so much for being so considerate and helpful. You have made me feel better already. I really feel you are spot on about my cravings. You thoroughly answered my questions, which has resulted in me not overthinking things. I really appreciate your clear and concise tips and knowledge. Oh, I love getting emails like that. It is just so heartwarming. So here's a fact. All diets work. Here's another fact. All diets fail. It really depends. I'm going to say it again, on your personality. It really does. This is not a hypothesis. Until now, I only went through this system with my one-on-one coaching clients. I have tested this entire system and proven its results with my own success and the success of my clients. At this point, I know I can make a greater impact by sharing it with more people, which is why I am no longer currently working one-on-one with clients. I am pivoting to a course, which is exactly what I just showed you. This method, it's time tested and it is proven. And if you're thinking, I'm ready, where do I start? Well, you're in the right place. I'm gonna let you know. So I just gave you my entire weight loss strategy system, explaining as much as I could cram in this masterclass webinar for you. But as I'm sure you can imagine, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to going from fluffy to fit without exercise so that you can improve your comfort, confidence, and energy. So you can either DIY, do it yourself, take all this information and try doing it yourself. You are absolutely free to do that. And I would, of course, wish everybody the absolute most success possible. Or you can go on a proven success path with me. And if you decide to work with me, absolutely nothing is held back. No, there's no missing steps. That I will go over exactly what it is that I showed you. All you need to do is follow my lead step by step. We're going to get you there. I am on a mission to accelerate your weight loss goals, to remove the headaches and bad advice that I was given by so-called gurus, and to give you the exact process to follow to truly lose the weight on your own terms. And that's what the Health Boss Blueprint program includes. I have taken the entire process from start to finish and using your personality, matching it up with 1,000 hours or more worth of research, of scientific research, dealing with plateaus, having flexibility, saving you time, getting to your weight loss goals without any exercise at all, and putting it all into this single program. It's all in one place for you. And why? Why'd I do this? Well, the biggest issue I see with the online weight loss space is that there are so many programs out there, each of them teaching an aspect of the entire puzzle of losing weight. A weight loss course that relies upon working out when you don't have time for exercise isn't going to be helpful. A weight loss course isn't helpful if whatever diet is being taught doesn't fit your personality, because working against yourself only gets you so far. And it's not helpful if it isn't realistic for your life and does not last. I want you to have the best possible setup for successful weight loss on your terms, because I have been through it myself. I'm coming at this with years of experience, experimenting and finding the things that actually work long-term versus whatever is trending on the internet. And we need to talk about mindset. You can't talk about your weight loss goals without addressing mindset. The better the fit, the better the results. I am building a legacy business, and I don't want just any client. I want the right clients. If you want in, here is how the process works. Vetting. Yes, vetting happens, and it's important on both sides. Who is this for? This program is for desk job professionals or sedentary workers. If you've tried other programs, multiple diets, if you've tried going it alone, you know that you can commit to a course and achieve your goals if you could just be set up for success to begin with at the outset. And if you understand that investing in your goals and having skin in the game is the only way to truly reach your goals and have the comfort, confidence, and energy that you deserve. People who are action takers are actually going to implement the information and transform their lives. And if this sounds like you are invited to schedule a call. That's a little tiny bit of a typo, but you are invited to schedule a call to enroll in our Health Boss Blueprint program. I have set aside time in the next 3 days to talk to you and to see if we can help. The call is approximately 45 minutes, and the intention is to understand your weight loss goals and challenges. Then, based on that information, I'll identify whether we are a good fit to work together and how we can get you to your goals inside the Health Boss Blueprint program. So you can book a call through my calendar. The link is in the offer that is below this webinar. And here's what I know to be true. I would not be where I am today without investing in working with people who were where I wanted to be. And the question is, where do you want to be in 6 months? Book a call and feel free to ask me any questions. And during that call, I will go over any of your concerns and questions and tell you whether I think that we would be a good fit for you. And to be honest, we're not going to be a good fit for everybody. And I'm very clear about that. So if I feel like we can't help you, I will let you know, and I will try to point you in the direction of a program or a space that I think could be more helpful for you. But that is what that's what I'm all about. That's how I am, even with my prior law clients. If I didn't think I could help them out, I always point them in a direction that I thought would be helpful. So I want to thank you for being here. And here is I am going to take your questions, but I wanted to point out my email address. It is jessie@jessiezylia.com. And you can email me and let me know that you want my ebook on it's kind of about intermittent fasting, but really it's about a very important step that you need to take before you jump into intermittent fasting. If you've already started intermittent fasting and you're wondering what that is, still this little ebook could help you. It's like a mini ebook, but it's just packed full of precise steps and information that you need to take before you jump into those waters. Okay. Will this work for here's the first question. Thank you for your question. Will this work for postmenopausal women? Yes, it will. Now, for postmenopausal women, we know that there are some hormone issues there, and that's fine. Whether you're on hormone replacement therapy or whether you're not, this will work for you. This whole program, it's like a choose your own adventure, and it's like a thumbprint. So because everybody gets assessed at the very beginning, and then because everybody will choose or not choose certain advanced options, everybody's path is unique to them. So when it comes to being postmenopausal, if you are working with a doctor to address any specific issues, especially related to any medications or hormones that you might be taking, then what you can do is you can make this program work for you along with your doctor's advice. But this absolutely will work whether you are not menopausal at all, premenopausal, or postmenopausal. Absolutely, yes, this will work for you. Let me see if there are any other questions below. There aren't any other questions below. I will address 2 questions that I got before this started, though, so that everybody can benefit from it. One is when you are a carby connoisseur, if you are a high carber, and you think you're doing everything right, then what? Where do you go from there? There is so much knowledge packed up in this encyclopedia of a brain after doing 1,000 hours of research that it's just a matter of diving in to see what it is that you're doing that's accidentally sabotaging you, because a lot of people really believe that they're eating healthfully, or they believe that they are, if they are having like a little treat here and there, that it's fine. That's not the problem. A treat here and there is not a problem. A problem is what you're doing inadvertently every day that could be accidentally screwing you, sabotaging your results without you being aware of it. That is where having a personality-based program really comes into play. And also that's where the group coaching every week is super, super helpful, because we can do these deep dives and everybody can benefit. And you can listen to other people's journey, and you can say, oh, wow, that person's having the exact same issue I'm having, and you can benefit from that. Let's see. I want to get off of this screen so you can see my face so I'm not hidden. Let's see if that works. Okay. I'm just in the corner. That's okay. Don't put baby in the corner. All right. The second question that I want to address is from another person with a different food personality who really believes that she was eating healthfully too. We got on a call recently, and her problem was that she was just adding like a little bit too much oil to her grilled veggies, because she was eating like plenty of fresh produce and everything. But her tiny drizzle, it seems like, wasn't actually a tiny drizzle. And the fact is that all oil, even if it's olive oil, all oil has 120 calories per tablespoon. And so when you have the bottle, if you got your thumb over the bottle and you're just like, quick drizzle, that quick drizzle can put literally hundreds and hundreds of calories over your grilled veggies. And, so there are a couple of things that matter. Hormones matter. Insulin is a very important hormone for losing weight. So hormones matter, but also calories do matter. Both of those things in conjunction with one another, they really matter. And that's why I say the science matters, because you are a walking chemical factory. Whether you know it or not, you are a walking chemical factory. And so when you put something into your chemical factory, there's going to be a chemical reaction. And as long as you are eating while being mindful and having the knowledge, then as I said before, that is going to empower you, and that's what we want. So, all right, since those seem to be the only questions, feel free to email me if you think of any questions later. Don't forget to ask for that ebook because it's got a lot of specific stuff in there. I honestly could not figure out how to add it to this webinar. I just would have done it. And book a call to see whether you would be a good fit for this program, whether we would be a good fit for you. I would love to have you on board and to answer all your questions in a very specific manner. All right, everyone, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for coming.